Hi there, and welcome on the journey to transform culture. I'm Steve, and I'll be your guide. Well, folks, I hope you're having a fantastic day and an even better week. Well, here we are. The United States of America is just about to hit 250 years. We're going to say 250. We won't say that our date's correct or not, but we'll just go with it, right? Who cares? We made it this far. We had won our freedom at this point. So 250 years later, that's an amazing feat. 250 years for anything is an amazing feat. That being said, we're still a nation in infancy compared to most other nations that have been around for thousands of years, many, right? So so we're in our infancy, and we've done fairly well, right? I would say we've done fairly well. Not perfect, but we've done fairly well. I'm not going to do a history lesson, naturally, but I'm going to just touch on a couple quick notes. And that is for those who fought in the Revolutionary War, right? Those who fought to secure the liberty that we have as Americans today in this current day. And I think of those who are in the freezing weather, who just didn't feel like they had it in them to march another step, those who passed, who froze to death, right? Those who, obviously died of mortal wounds and so on, right? And think of this, folks. These were people that were not, oftentimes we think of somebody we're warring against as a completely different culture. This culture was much of our own culture, right? This was almost like a civil war in some respects, right? And so this wasn't easy on the heart, I guess is the best way to put it. This took its toll on the heart and soul of people. But it also, because it was so important, it became such a profound, planting your flag, right? This is my hill. This is my hill. This is the freedom. We're going to claim this, right? And in that respect, in that light, it is an amazing, amazing thing. It is very much a divine intervention. In fact, George Washington, I believe in his memoirs, had noted where he had divine interventions, divine, I guess you could say, visitors, if you want to put it that way, that consulted him. Look it up. It's not me, folks. but there's that level of that spirit-filled nature of it, right? That the divine was securing a blessing for those who would then, take the United States and then grow it. Now, we can also say, too, and like we are as Americans, we're always quick to want to get to the party, right? We endure through the pain of the conversation so we can get to the, to the game or to the party afterwards, right? And there's always time for that. We will celebrate, right? We're going to have a great time, and we're going to rejoice with one another and have great, communion and so forth, so on, right? But we also have to kind of reflect on a few things, because while this is a celebration of 250 years, it is also an opportunity, right, for a rebirth. You might say, well, what are you talking about, a rebirth? We're perfect. No, we're not. If anything, this is phase one, right? This is the end of phase one, folks, not phase last, okay? There isn't a stagnancy in growth, right? You go plant a flower, plant a tree, right? It doesn't stop growing after, the first, 20 minutes. It keeps growing, right? And this is the same with us. And with that growth, what does that also require of us? It requires us to grow as well. And why is that? We kind of have to keep up, right? In some respects, it's not necessarily the nefarious that have hurt America over many years. It has been those who failed to keep up, right? And those who took advantage in the gaps, right? and divisiveness and other things, politics and faith and just this thing and that thing that just divide people, right? And so, but it's also perspective, right? We can see the United States, America as a place, right? That has, here's a place and it's got boundaries, it has roads, it has structure, it has this, it has that, right? But it really is us. And I'm going to read to you quickly, I'm going to read the preamble of the Constitution. I'm going to read it because I don't want to take a chance and say a word incorrectly, okay? We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. Now, something I wanted to, as I was thinking about this previous, I noted how they spelt ensure, right? And it isn't necessarily because of the times. I mean, it is because of the times, I should say, not necessarily a mistake. But they spell ensure with an I, okay? And I think that's fitting, right? Ensure domestic tranquility. So what is that saying to us? It is to guarantee and preserve the peace and calm, okay? But they spelt ensure tranquility, ensure with an I. And I think that is symbolic, right? Maybe not purposeful, but symbolic. And why is that? It is up to us to ensure. That's why it's the I. It's up to each of us as individuals, right? To ensure that peace, that tranquility, right? The peace and calm, which is what tranquility is, okay? That tranquility, it's up to us individually. Now, we can pan back in our lives and go, have I always ensured peace and tranquility, right, from the day to day? Because, folks, we're not talking about some nebulous thing here, okay? Well, that's just lofty talk. Well, it surely is very divinely inspired talk, but it's practical, right? Because aren't you most effective? Don't you thrive best? Don't you achieve more? Don't you enjoy more? Don't you celebrate better and from a deeper place when you've allowed peace and calm to drive, right? It's really what the divine is telling you in this situation, that ensuring this, tranquility isn't a given, right? It isn't a given. It is up to us to steward that tranquility, okay? It isn't like somebody's going to drop a magic blanket over us and say, oh, guess what? There's tranquility and joy. No, we have to ensure it. What does this mean? That we're not divisive. We're not argumentative. We're not, nefarious or manipulative. We're not all the behaviors that we know are contrary, not only to, what we've been given, right? Because this was given right at the end. It says we've been given, right? This gift has been given. How do you treat that gift? Well, how do you treat your relationships? How do you treat most things that you get as a gift, right? Like relationship, right? Personally, professionally, culturally, all of it, right? How do you treat it? You, as an I, as an individual, how are you ensuring peace and calm, right? Because when you do that, you're creating what? The groundwork for the best life you can imagine. Now, here's the challenge, because this video is going to be a nice and short one today, okay? Our challenge isn't the last 250 years. Far too often, people sit back on their laurels, satisfied with what I did yesterday, the day before, the year before that, and so on and so forth. No. What are we going to create today? What are we going to create for tomorrow? What are we in preparation and or building towards? Because like I said before, phase one now is complete, folks. We graduated from phase one, right? In a lot of cases, it was ugly. Okay, it was an ugly win, but it was a win. Okay, we're not done. We've got many more. It's just like any tournament, any series, right? Where there's a championship at the end. We're not thinking about the last game or the series we just won. We're thinking about the next one and what we have to do to prepare for that. You hear this with teams and athletes and all the time, and it's true, and organizations, right, as they are. You hear this, and because it's true. And what does that also mean of us? That we also have to prepare and focus on the next challenge in front of them because it's not over, right? And quite frankly, folks, it won't be over in our lifetime, right? And that should hopefully be the point, okay? And that this first 250 years, phase one, we got to win. It was an ugly win, but we got to win, right? And a lot of people sacrifice for that win. It's a win is a win, right? But we now have to look at the tape, okay? We got to review the game tape. We got to review our performance. We turnovers here, percentages are weak here. Our conditioning on defense is poor here. On offense, we missed some opportunities. How did that happen, right? Hey, there's a little bit of conflict that the team wasn't melding well, there wasn't good synergy in that third period. What happened, right? We weren't communicating well. All these things, right? Just as much as it applies to a team, it applies to a country, if not more so, okay, to a greater extent, to a deeper level, and not just by those who are administering, playing administrative roles and legislative roles and all of it, right? Not just the people who would be, say, leading, right? Because we're all leading. That I is the ensure, right? It is the ensure, right? It is not only I, right? But it's I, right? It's to ensure this tranquility, right? And so going forward, after, as we prepare, get ready to, we celebrate now and have a great time. But we hit the next day or two or a week later, depending on how long your celebration is, and our feet hit the ground. And now what? We have to start living to the language of those who got us here, right? Living to the language of what we say we value and what we protect and what we honor, right? The justice, the tranquility, defense, right? The posterity for all, right? For all generations to come, right? It's about the clean water. It's about food. It's, all of it. It's about safety as well, right? That's the general welfare is safety, right? We have to regard the general welfare, folks. And as we start to plan and prepare, what do we have to do? We also have to declutter. We've got to declutter some things because there are those who have been too comfortable to play in the world of rules and regulations that aren't good for us. There are those that kind of protect us, and there are those who protect special interests. We have to be on guard, folks, because if you let special interests run, then they will run you over. Period. Dot. Okay? So, congratulations on getting the win, folks. We got our trophy, right? We're shaking our trophy, filling it with champagne or whatever you're, or Sprite, whatever you enjoy. And we're celebrating. And we're going to have a great time. But remember, after we get done celebrating, it's time to go after the championship, right? We got through the first series. We got through it. A little bit ugly, but we won it. Now, we need to learn lessons, and we need to take those to heart. So individually, we're doing all the things that we spoke to, right, as people of America, as United States citizens, right? All the things that we're required to do and to be. This isn't just to do, it's also a being, right? A state of being, right? So honor the gift, honor what you've been given, right? And take care of it. How do you take care of your gifts, right? So just want to congratulate you on a great season, 250-year-long season, right? All right, folks, have a fantastic day. Remember, hit that good green domino 3 to 5 times a day or more to uplift, motivate, inspire, and just encourage one another. When we do this, not only helping to transform culture, but we're transforming our own lives. But don't forget, we can't transform anything in the realm of this great gift, right, America, if we don't first transform on the inside. That's so important. All right, folks, have a fantastic day. Hit like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, we'll talk to you later.